Hello and welcome to day 9. I'm sorry for my voice, I still have a stinking cold, so please bear with me. But today we're going to be making some super cute gingerbread men. So this is one of those plush dies from Simon Says Stamp. I believe they're made in connection with Memory Box, and they're really good for die cutting felt, and they'll die cut little teeny tiny holes all the way around that you can use to stitch them together and make a little plushie. So this particular set is actually supposed to make a bunny rabbit, but I'm just using the body of the bunny rabbit without the ears or anything else, and making a gingerbread man. So you can see there I tied a knot in the end of my twine and then stitched just through the front piece. That meant that the knot is actually in the middle of this little plush die, or this little plush like felt gingerbread man, so the knot's not sticking out. And I'm just doing a really simple straight stitch, sort of in and out, front and back, and it was at about this point that I realised that I forgot to do the face. So I'm just going to take some black twine and some tiny little seed beads, and I'm going to stitch one of those onto each side of the face to make the little eyes, and then I'll go ahead and stitch a smile using the same black twine. So because all of the sort of mess of your twine is going to be hidden inside your plushie, there's no need to be fancy about it, so I just use the one piece of twine to stitch both of those little beads for the eyes, and then stitch my little wonky smile. I suppose maybe you could draw the smile on first and then follow it with your stitching, but I quite like the little sort of wonky smile that you get this way. So I've took or I will take 3 buttons in different colours, and I'm just again really easily stitching these onto the front of my gingerbread man. And again I'm just using that same piece of black twine for all of these, and once I've stitched all 3 of the buttons I'll just go ahead and tie a knot and snip that off at the back. So I'm almost done there, and I'll flip that over and tie a knot and then cut off the excess. Just in case anybody else is thinking about making one of these and they're wondering sort of how much of the white twine to use, that's something that really bothers me, sort of how much twine do you go ahead and cut out, because you don't want there to be so much that it's really difficult to work with, but you want there to be enough that you can get round your stitching in one go. So for me it was sort of just, I sort of just grabbed the twine and did like an arm's width, and that seemed to work for me. And as I'm stitching I sort of keep the twine almost folded in half, so I have a free end by the needle and I sort of fold that so it's almost doubled up, but there's enough of the sort of singular twine left, so I'm only stitching with one piece at a time, and then as that doubled up area gets closer to what's actually being stitched in, I just move the needle along a bit. So I don't know if I've just lost everyone or if that makes any sense, but hopefully that makes sense to some of you, and that's how I try and keep my twine quite short when I'm working with it so it doesn't get tangled up. So I went ahead and just used some stuffing to stuff my little gingerbread man. You don't have to do that, but I think he looks really cute with a little bit of stuffing added in. So I've gone right the way around the gingerbread man, but as you can see that just sort of leaves this like stitching where there's like one stitch at the front, one stitch at the back, so there's gaps in the stitching. The easiest way to get rid of that, so you can do a particular type of stitch as you go, which will keep that all nice and neat, but I think if you just go around the whole thing again, it's easier. So that's what I've done. I've just gone right the way around, and now I'm going to show you how I tie my twine to make sure you don't see the knot. So I just created a little slip knot and I'm sliding that as close to the gingerbread man as I can, and I'm then going to wiggle my needle sort of through where that knot is and just sort of stitch it inside and poke the needle back out through the middle of the 2 pieces of felt somewhere else and pull it until that knot's pulled inside, and then snip off the thread while it's quite tight and it will sort of just bounce back inside my little gingerbread man. So there you go, really quick and easy, cute little felt gingerbread man. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure you hit like, and if you haven't already, do hit the subscribe button. On screen right now are 2 more videos that I think you might enjoy. If you haven't watched them already, you can do so just by clicking on the images on the screen. So that's all from me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.